Hello everybody, today's video we're going to look at a set of Wahl Tempo trimmers. I'm Simon and welcome to Oakside Saddlery. Okay, so this is a set of little trimmers. I've never looked at these before, so this is going to be a surprise when I actually get inside them and see what's going on. Customer said to me they didn't work, so they look like they are rechargeable, which probably means not going to charge properly. So charger for it, that's our first test to see what that does. That's switched off, we'll plug that in there. So we've got a nice red light that comes on, and if I turn the charger on, does it change colour or anything? No change colour on there, but it's obviously doing something that looks like a power switch. Well, they work. Now that's going to throw me because they work like that. Nothing like that, but that might be a flat battery. Right, we'll see what we get on, then we'll have a nose. Just get rid of that charger out. Charger out of there. Get rid of that. Let's see what they're meant to do. So, first up then, let's have a look at these. Oh, that's weird. Got like a cover. Normally there's a bit here you press to free these off. I'm going to have to undo some screws. Never seen that before. There's normally a little button on the back of these, aren't there? That sort of thing. Get it and pull them up, or they just pull off, and they certainly are not going to pull off of there, not with them screws. Right, that's a Torx screw on there. Let me have a nose. I'm going to guess these are security ones, so it doesn't matter. It's probably that size. So the security ones just have a, if you get these with a little pin in the middle of them, you have to have a different bit. Oh, sometimes I amaze myself. I bet I can't find my screwdriver that does that. Time for the electric. Alright. Let's tighten in. That's undoing. Let's see how they are. Oh, that was loose. What was that? Right, oh blimey, they're little short stumpers. On there, this is free as well, I think. That one there. Quite nice inside there. A bit of oil. You just see there's oil there. And this side here, that's part of it. So this might be why they're not working. That was an easy one, wasn't it? It's like, oh shoot, this video going, it's only 3 minutes. See there? There's my little pointy thing. There's a little pointy thing. So there's a spring that sits in the back of this that obviously holds it through. This one's hooked in the plastic and that one's down the side there. So I'm going to guess that should be there. Now it might have just come off when I done it, but that's where it should be. And that's what will make it go. So it's probably holding the blade at an angle. I'll have to contact the customer and ask whether it was the clipper's not working or whether it just wasn't trimming. So that's something to look at. Now for this part, that feels like it's attached. That's all part of the springs. There's a screw in there that looks like a, oh, that's Phillips. Yeah, it looks like a little posse drive in there. They're the only two I can see. Can't see any others. So let's find a little posi drive. Yeah, that seems to have gripped. So I'll go for that one. None of these screws are tight. They're all really loose. And that's that one. So whether today's funny, just now the sun was out streaming through the door here, and now it's completely overcast and raining. Nice. Anyway, let's see if I can't get these screws out because I can't get hold of them. And they don't feel like they want to fall out. Even if they feel like they are free. Definitely not doing nothing. Right, let's see. Well, there is a bit of movement there. This end's free, but this end is gripping. This is the hardest thing sometimes when you've got a set that I've not had apart before. I don't... There's one out. The other one was moving now. There it goes. When I've not had one that I've done before, I can't see or necessarily know how they clip together and whether they are clipped or whether they are all screwed. So that end is definitely free. So, not sliding. That doesn't feel like it wants to move. Oh, I've got a feeling under there is going to be another couple of screws, so I reckon that comes out of there. I reckon this comes off. That doesn't feel like it wants to. I reckon it does. Oh, I can see now there is definitely a screw underneath there. Now remember I meant to go down through that. If I am, I ain't going to get through it. So what, there it goes. Aha, there we are. Oh, look at that. It's got a little lug there that's slotted into there. Makes it make sense to keep it in place. And there we are. 2 more screws. Thought there was. One there. One there. There you go. That's better. Alright, where are we? So we're sitting that way around. Now, there's not a lot I'm going to be able to do with that. I can give it a blowout and give them a clean. There's not a lot in there to clean. Batteries all look good. The chargers all look good. Most of these things, even when they have a pack, it's the same sort of battery that's inside. So they are like a separate battery. They will like pop out of there. I assume they're not soldered in. So they just look like your normal batteries. You can probably put them in a charger. A little bit of foam underneath. Can't see much in the way of reasons of stripping them down. So I've got a feeling the problem would have been that. Look at that, eh? Simple as that. I'll give these a blowout, clean them up. I'm not going to strip all these completely down. I'll give them a blow through, clean this all up. I might clean these out. Figure out what that is on the back of there, because there's something sitting there, a little tiny bit of hair. But that's what I'm going to do with them. I can't see much point in doing much more of it. This might be a little shorter video, I think, so give us a minute, whatever. I don't know, I'm going to cut the thing off and just do my bits. See you in a bit. Okay, back again. So I couldn't see anything really wrong with these. I've given them a good clean out. I've blown them through, brushed them up. Time to get them back together again, I think. So hopefully I can remember how this goes, because it's a few hours after. So everything there, I've given a spray in here and cleaned this up, so this is a bit smoother. There is this that's sitting there, which really threw me. So I'm not quite sure what it does, but I've got a feeling what it does is probably puts a little bit of pressure on this and stops it perhaps moving. But it was sitting just inside. I can't get in myself now. It was sitting there, and it seems really strange. So I'm not sure what it's for, what it does. Oh, it's still not in the right place. It's not the easiest of things to get around, but I've got it stuck now. Yeah, so it sits there like that. and this motor was on top of it. Now if I'd taken that off and blooming cleaned it, I would have easily lost that, and I can't figure out for the life of me what it's for. But it rests down there and it looks like there's a little bit of grease on it. But yeah, really strange set of clippers. It certainly does things that I'm not really sure what they are. Maybe it's like a little pressure on it for a bearing or something, I don't know. Everything seems to fit fine with it there. And now I'm going to put a little bit of grease in there just to make sure, give it a bit of smoothness to it. Take that out. I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose on that. Nothing fancy, not gearbox grease like I would normally use, or a lot of them all have. But just a little smooth bit in it. Hang on, can't get it back up there now. I'm just going to smear it just down inside there. Alright, get some of that excess off of there because I don't want it everywhere. And I think that's where it sits. Now we'll see what it does. When I turn it on, we'll see what it does. So it's not too hard. I can turn this on fairly quickly, can't I? Because this just sits on top. So there's this big piece here that's going to slip down in there by the looks of it. And it should all line up, clip back together. So there we are, that's it in its place. So let's plug this in and see what it does. So here's my cable again. You know this was working, so I'm going to plug that in there. Plug that in there, grip it nice and tight. Switch the power on, we've got a red, so I'm going to assume that red is it's got a flat battery. And it turns lovely. It does turn rather nice. So let's unplug it again, switch that off, don't want that. Let's get some screws back in here. So there was 2 of these screws in here. Another one in there. Paper towels. Tighten that one up. These are nice, just straight into a little bit of plastic, so there it goes. I certainly do not want to cross thread these because they're only small and they weren't done up very tight, remember, so they was all fairly loose. So I'm certainly not going to over tighten them myself. So turn it back the wrong way. There's the little clip where it drops in its place. And that's it around there. So now there's another 2 that sat in here. So there's one there. Turn it around the wrong way. There's the click. I'm not going to tighten this one up major tightly. I'm just going to get it in place. And the last one sits down there. Oh, that was a quick one. Go across there. So tighten them up this time. Tighten that one up. So we've got our clippers back together. Now this bit here, when I figured this out of how to get it off, I'm sure you was all laughing. Anyone who had these would have been going, oh, all you had to do is that. When you've never seen them before, it's always a bit of a laugh. So if you saw it, just put it in a note in the comments as to when you saw it. Give us a timestamp on it. See if you got it. So they're going to drop down at the bottom there, under them 2 little clips, and then it just sits back in place there by the looks of it. Don't feel right. Let's have another look. So back under there, I clipped in here like that. There it goes. So it is a positive click in. Definitely sitting there in the right place. Now this was the bit that had all moved. So that bit there has got to line up with that. It's got a little chamfer on it, so it should fit in nicely. Needs a little bit of something in there just to see that smooth. So I'm going to go for a bit of clipper oil on these ones. So put a little bit of drop of oil just in there. And this is going to sit in there. And it will sit like that. And I'll have a little bit of oil there, a little bit of oil on there. So that's them blades sorted. And this will sit. Oh, moved. I didn't like that. That's about. That will sit there. These blades are going to sit on top over there, and then these are going to screw in. Oh, these were the Torx ones, weren't they? Right, electric screwdriver then. Line it up. Nothing too much. Okay, with this one. Line it up. So I'm not doing this, if you notice I let that turn in my hands. This will go a lot tighter than what it does. Don't want it too tight. So that's pretty good to me. That blade tried to move then, look, see it? Let's plug it in then, see what it does, see if that looks a bit better, see if we can notice anything from it. So it's powered up. That looks like that's going there, doesn't it? Now there is one way I try it. Yep, that shows my arm nicely. Not that I've got airy arms. I've always got bald patches up and down my arms, and that's usually from these. So let's give that a little wipe off because I don't want my hairs. Put that blade cover thing back on it. That sits on there. That's now whether they're going to charge or whether that needs new batteries. But Wahl Tempo Plus, probably with a plus after it. Quite a nice clipper. Little charger on it. There's a nice box as well with a bit of oil and loads of different things to fit over it to get you different heights for your hair. Yeah, nice set of clippers. Otherwise, they're all back together and we can tidy up. So if you enjoyed the video, remember to click that thumbs up button. Subscribe, you might find something on there. There was a couple of nice leatherwork ones the other day with a bit of stitching. So maybe you like that sort of stuff. But otherwise, have a good day and I'll see you next time. And goodbye.